What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Eastern Shore Undercover podcast. I'm Earl Campbell. I'm your host, and today we have a really special guest with us. We are happy to have on the show. Today's a very busy day for him, so without keeping him for too long, and without further ado, let's jump in and let me introduce everybody to Mr. Scott Hamilton. Scott, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Earl. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Appreciate you taking the time out this morning to sit and talk with us. For those of you who don't know, Scott is a former Wicomico County Sheriff's deputy. He's a former corporal. Scott's here to talk about some very, very exciting news, and I get to be the one to announce it. So without further ado, we are happy to announce that Scott Hamilton will be running for Wicomico County Sheriff. This is going to be a two-part episode. So today we're going to sit down and we're going to learn a little bit about Scott and how he is ready to earn your vote as the Wicomico County Sheriff. During part two of the podcast, we're going to learn more about what Scott's plan is for the future of the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office and how he will lead the agency as the sheriff. This is going to be exciting. So make sure you guys come back for part two, which we're anticipating probably about 2 weeks from now. So Scott, for those viewers here on Eastern Shore Undercover that may not know you on a personal level, tell us who Scott Hamilton is.
Yeah, hey, thanks again, Earl. Great introduction. I'm really excited to be here. This is a big day. Today is the day that we are officially announcing that this is happening. So in a few hours from now, you're going to see my name officially listed as a candidate for Wicomico County Sheriff on the 2026 primary. This will be, I'm registered as a Republican, so this is going to be in the Republican primary. So a little bit about me. I'm 46 years old. I grew up in Sussex County on a small chicken farm that was operated by my stepfather. Growing up on the farm, I learned a lot about hard work and family values. Started to really get engaged in community service and wanted to give back to my community and wanted to give back to the country. So when I was 17 years old, I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. Just after graduating from high school, I went to Parris Island, and the Marine Corps taught me a lot. Taught me a lot of things. My foundations: hard work, leadership, integrity, discipline, my core values. So use those core values to come back to our community. And I decided I've always wanted to be a police officer. So in the year 2000, I moved down to Salisbury when I got hired with the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office. After a 21-year career, I retired. But while working for the Sheriff's Office, I was still in the Marine Corps Reserve. 2003, I deployed to Iraq. And then I was honorably discharged from the Marine Corps in 2005. But I missed that connection. I missed the connection of that greater, higher level of service and giving back to our country. And I missed the guys. And the only way that I could fill that void was going back into the military. So in 2009, I re-enlisted into the Maryland Army National Guard and continued my service for another 14, 16 years with a total of 22 years of military service. So I retired in 2023 as a Chief Warrant Officer 3 from the National Guard and came back home. But my job in the National Guard, I was a UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter instructor pilot. I was a master gunner, and I was an air mission commander. So basically, a mentor for a lot of the younger guys. Coming back home, got to do some fun. Well, let me back up for just a second. Before I came back home, I did get to finish my career on 2 years of active duty, where I was directly supporting the Pentagon with being part of a contingency operation there. So. A little bit about my family. My wife is amazing. She's made a huge sacrifice. We've been together for 22 years. And without her, I could have never done anything that I just said. So got to give a shout out to my wife. She's amazing. And she's the rock and the glue that holds everything together. Very, very supportive. Our son is 20 years old. He's a senior at the Citadel down in Charleston, South Carolina.
Awesome. What exactly is the Citadel?
Yeah, so the Citadel is a military school. It's kind of like, one of the academies, but it's private. So he's down in Charleston. He's a senior. Just started his first semester as a senior. He's going to graduate a semester early. And he's also gotten that drive for community service and, love of country and wants to give back to the community and the country as well. So he's pursuing a commission in the United States Coast Guard. He has aspirations to go to OCS in January of next year, get his commission, and then he'll actually go back to the Citadel and graduate for his formal graduation. And then he hopes to go to flight school and follow in my footsteps, and he wants to fly Black Hawks too. And if you've never been down to the campus or aren't familiar with the Citadel's campus, It's absolutely beautiful. I get the opportunity to go down there every year. I'm a guest instructor. They've invited me down. I'm getting ready to go back down in a few more weeks. I teach a class in the forensic photography program, a little bit
Okay.
about crash reconstruction and some photography stuff. I teach 2 blocks of instruction down there every year.
Awesome. Hey, Scott, you may have said it. I might have missed it. During your time as in military, you have any deployments that you did?
Yeah, I deployed to Iraq in 2003 in the Marine Corps. And then after that deployment is when I was honorably discharged.
Gotcha. So tell me more about what you did with the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, so at the sheriff's office, I got to do a lot of things. I was a patrol supervisor. I supervised the crash team. I was a part of fleet management, the special operations unit, and I was also on the Maryland State Apprehension Team. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically we're deputized as U.S. Marshals, and we go out and serve high-risk warrants on wanted individuals that are usually wanted for serious felonies.
So basically, you made decisions that affected the agency during the times when other commanders were off duty.
Absolutely. As a patrol supervisor, in the middle of the night, everything's on your shoulders. So you're trusted to run that agency and make decisions that affect everyone in our community with using your trust and your judgment. And that's what they did. As a trusted supervisor, that's the job that we do.
You were also an instructor at the police academy. What exactly did you teach?
Yeah, so I'm still an instructor at the police academy. I've been teaching basic crash investigations since around 2013, so a number of years. I'm still active at the police academy. I go back there every 6 months and teach that block of instruction. I also was the lead or primary instructor in the FTO program for many years, but I've moved away from the FTO program and I'm solely just teaching basic crash now.
Awesome. Going back to the military again, tell me a little bit more about what you did exactly in the military.
So in the Marine Corps, I was a bulk fuel specialist. Basically, I was a refueler, working on the ground, refueled heavy equipment, tanks, trucks, and then a little bit of connection to the wing with refueling some aircraft. The Army brought me back into the Army as a refueler until I could get to flight school. So when I went to flight school was when I went to Warrant Officer Candidate School, and then became an aviator and then served as a UH-60 Black Hawk pilot, instructor pilot, and master gunner for many years until I retired.
How long is actually flight school?
Flight school is a long time. I was down there about 19 months. So again, going back to that sacrifice that my wife's made, she was here at home raising our son, still working shift work for what she does, and while I was down at flight school and down in Alabama.
Was it a hard school? Was it compared to other training that you had?
It's extremely difficult. Yeah. Only the military's aviation training programs are by far probably some of the hardest training that you can get through, and only the best graduate from those programs. They're not going to trust you with a multi-million-dollar aircraft and up to 16 lives behind you if they don't trust your judgment. So it's a hard school. I went through SEER, which stands for Survive, Evade, Resist, Escape. It's basically what happens if you get captured school. That was, it's some of the best training I've ever been to. It's training so good, you hope you never have to use it, because if you're using that skill set, something's going bad. So yeah, Warrant Officer Candidate School. I've been through the Warrant Officer Advanced School, Instructor Pilot School, Instrument Operators course. So I got to do a lot of great things in the military.
Right. Now you mentioned that you deployed. Can you tell us anything about that? Is that okay to talk about?
Yeah, my deployment in 2003, when everything kicked off in Operation Iraqi Freedom, that's when I was there. I was there for about 7 months doing that refueler job. We started in Kuwait and went all the way to Baghdad. I also had the opportunity to mobilize to Canada. I was in Canada in around 2016 for about 30 days. We did training with the Canadians, doing air missions and trading secrets with them and how they operate, how we operate. Got to work with them a lot. And then the culminating event at the end of my career was that mobilization to the Pentagon that I did. Not to the Pentagon, but supporting the Pentagon, doing those contingency operations.
What exactly is a warrant officer, which is what your title was then, correct?
Yeah, so a warrant officer is a technical expert, and our job is to advise captains and colonels and make sure that they're doing things that meet the standard. We're evaluators. We write policy. We mentor. We evaluate. So as an instructor pilot, my job was to serve in all of those roles, and higher level leadership roles is really what it is.
Right. Were you in charge of anything while you were in the military?
In charge of the aircraft, in charge of the personnel in the aircraft. As an air mission commander, you are commander. So yeah, you're in charge of, I help mission planning. Anytime we went out with more than one aircraft, you have to have an air mission commander. So you're basically in charge of that entire flight. And then the training that goes into it, so yeah, I was in charge of a lot of different programs.
You ended your military career on active duty assigned, supporting the Pentagon. What was that like?
That mission's really, really, really exciting. To be a part of contingency operations and continuity government operations for the United States, it's really, really exciting. We would fly all over Washington, D.C. I landed at the Pentagon daily. We would pick up VIP higher level dignitaries, and we would fly them to locations around our region where they would go in the event of an emergency. So if our country was attacked or DC needed to be evacuated for whatever reason, that's where we would come in and we would help evacuate those personnel to those hidden locations so they could maintain our continuity government. So very high risk, high level mission.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's change gears a little bit. How long have you been preparing for today's announcement?
Today's announcement has been several years in the making. I just told you all about my service and how I've gotten to be where I'm at. So there's a lot of things that I've done. But when we lost Glenn Hilliard back in 2021, I was on active duty. My commander was gracious enough to let me come home for a week. And I realized during that week, when I was kind of the liaison between the sheriff's office and all the other civilians that wanted to support that tragedy, I realized how badly I missed the sheriff's office and the men and women inside the sheriff's office in our local community. And I knew then that I wanted to do something to continue my service. So there was conversations that I had with people over the last several years, and they kind of planted that seed in me and say, hey, you know what? Did you ever consider running for sheriff? So those conversations have been building for several years, and I've been working towards this for the last few years.
Overall,
go ahead. I think I forgot to mention this. I still serve as the FOP president. So in that capacity as the FOP president, I've had the opportunity to continue to work with the men and women inside the sheriff's office, advocate for them, help negotiate contracts, and using that platform, I knew I wanted to continue to give back, and the sheriff is the next logical step.
Yeah. Now, if you're elected as the next sheriff, you would have to step down from the FOP president. Is that how that works?
Yes, absolutely. I would have to step down from the FOP. I wouldn't want to surrender my membership with the FOP. I've been a part of that organization for 25 years, but I would have to step down as the president.
Overall, why does Scott Hamilton want to be the sheriff of Wicomico County?
We just talked a lot about all of my service and how I got to where I am today. And it's the next generation's turn, I believe. There's a lot more good things that I can do, but I need to be on a higher platform. So, being the sheriff is going to give me that platform to continue to advocate in the best way that I can and support the men and women inside that sheriff's office. So, I'm here, I'm present, I'm concerned with what's going on inside our county, and I want to focus on local, inside the county problems and to work towards making our community safer. And I'm also I'm ready to make that transition and be a part of it. There's been a great foundation that's already laid. I want to leverage everything that's been there, everything that's currently working, and build upon that and continue to make it great. So, the other thing a lot of people get concerned about is change. Change is normal. So this isn't something we need, people are going to be scared of. This is a normal part of our evolution. Again, we make change all the time, and getting into where the sheriff's office can go from here. That's why I want to be the sheriff.
How has your team? I'm sure you put a team together, come together, and what exactly are you hearing from the people you've talked to about your campaign, about what you need to do and moving forward?
I've got a great team of people behind me. We've been together for several months working on this, and we have a lot of energy. We're excited. And we've already got a great amount of momentum, and we're going to continue to build that momentum and get our message out there. And we're going to educate everybody we can talk to, and explain to them, hey, go back to that change. Why do we need this change? The fresh new ideas that I'm going to bring. We're excited to start delivering that message, and letting people know that I'm a viable candidate, and I'm going to be an effective leader, and we're going to do great things. So I'm really happy to have that support team behind me, and we're really excited as we go forward.
As we wrap up this quick announcement, special episode, this is part one. Can you tell me a few of your campaign priorities and what people are going to be to learn about you as we prepare for this upcoming election?
Sure. Yeah. First and foremost, being present, being here is one of my strongest campaign promises. So I'm going to focus on what's important by being here and working with the men and women inside the sheriff's office, leading from the front. I think that that's very important. People need to see their leader on a daily basis. So being present and leading from the front, super important. Also, giving back to our community by building trust with the community. We've got a great foundation again, but let's continue to build upon that, work with our community, keep our community informed, and make sure that we're doing the best we can to build that trust and work together in our community. So the few other highlights would be, bringing a modern approach and fresh ideas for policing, using the implementation of technology, using what we can to make sure that we're doing the best for our community. I also believe that that trust also can be used to help rebuild morale inside the agency. Some of our people there have told me that, hey, we feel a little bit unheard and under-supported. So building that morale and all that together is going to culminate on public safety that people can really, really feel, giving back to our community, making them feel secure.
Well, Scott, I appreciate everything you stopping and taking the time this morning. I know you're a very busy person. Where can people find you on social media? Will you have a website, for the campaign? Do you have any events coming up that you want to share with the community?
So you can find me on Facebook. It's Scott Hamilton for Wicomico County Sheriff. My website is hamiltonforsheriff.com, and that's FOR, so Hamilton FOR Sheriff.com. We're going to be launching an Instagram page, Twitter page. Those aren't out yet, but we're going to be launching those soon. So you can follow me on social media, follow me on the website. We'll be making posts often. I'm going to let people know where I'm at, what we're doing, and how to get up with me. Also, this weekend, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be at the Better Living Expo all weekend long, Saturday and Sunday. We've got a booth there. You can come by and see me at my booth. We'll talk to you more about our message and come interact with me and see me out there on the campaign trail.
Awesome. And we'll put those links up here for you, and we'll also put them in the comments so people can click on them, follow your page, stay up to date with what's going on. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on here today. I want to thank you for coming on and taking the time to be on the podcast and making your announcement with us. It's an exciting time. We're looking forward to this campaign all along the way. So that's really all we got for today, folks. I want to thank you for watching the Eastern Shore Undercover podcast with myself and Scott Hamilton. Scott, you have anything last to say?
No, thank you for helping me make this announcement. I'm really excited to go forward.
Folks, if you haven't done so already, do me a favor, click the link below. Like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff, and then stay up to date with future podcasts here on Eastern Shore Undercover. Like I said, approximately 2 weeks, we'll come out with episode 2. If you have any questions, you can shoot them down here in the comments. And once again, thank you for watching the Eastern Shore Undercover podcast.